Welcome, everybody. I struggle often with words in terms of how to frame what our experience is in such a way that doesn't detract from what the experience is. I wanted to talk about loving kindness, but loving kindness isn't an idea and it's not a thought. As soon as you have a discriminating thought, you're diving into the ocean of samsara, endless suffering, constant rebirths. Beyond thinking, loving kindness as an action. You have to be loving kindness. You can't think your way there. The sort of ordinary way of going through the world, the ordinary person is really kind of stuck in the discriminatory mind, in the thinking place. It's this or that, right or wrong, yes or no. When you break through and you stop identifying and clinging to that idea that you are that you are thinking, a thinking being. There's nobody that can tell you how to do that. There's no way I can teach you how to break through your own barriers of your own thinking. But when you do, loving kindness will be the natural effect. And how you are in the world from the universal, from the non dualistic view, is so real compared to this deluded, ignorant view that we're caught up in when we're discriminating with our thinking. So much of the world right now is fear based, motivated by fear. How is that different? So, why do we do this practice? And what's the outcome, the ultimate outcome? Being clear, awake to how it actually is. So, like I said to begin with, I have a hard time finding ways to express this without diminishing it. But this morning, I got this very clearly after struggling for the last several weeks with the condition that we find ourselves in and here in the States and around the world, and finding myself getting constantly caught up in discriminating mind, making something wrong, making something right, wanting to fix it, how to do this, how to do that. And this morning, I recognized being, just being, loving kindness. How is that different? There's no comparison. One is light that dispels the darkness. The other is just getting caught up in it. So I struggled with this because it's a difficult situation for me and for many of us. What do we do with this? The inhumanity, the cruelty, the hostility, the anger, all these different things. But of course, this has been on this planet as long as the planet has existed and humans have been on it. So this is nothing new. But our place right now, in this time, in this place, this practice, this Zen, for me, gives us a direct way of being a clear, loving, kind human being. We talk about unattachment. We talk about opening the hand of thought, all these words that we use to try to describe this process of awakening. I'm glad that for me, at least this morning, I realized that that's my path, not discrimination. Yes, I want to fight, but I want to fight from a clear mind and a clear space, not from violence, not from hatred, not from being right and making someone wrong. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, um, you could assist, because the thoughts arise all the time, as we are exposed to this world, whether now, 20 years ago, or in the future. It's a constant, is it a constant vigilance of basically the awareness of your thoughts and sort of bringing them back into that, you know, not knowing, not really into the Zen principle of not knowing, or the principle of non-discrimination, the loving kindness, like I guess a little bit of guidance, like on the
Yeah.
everyday, if you could offer some guidance on what happens, every moment, every day, a few times a day, whatever it is.
Well, I think it's your practice that gives you the guidance. So, because you've touched on it, you know, you've seen some light, however you want to express it, and that is always there. So, even though you may fall into the discriminating sort of place, when you realize it, that's a realization. And that already is a whole different experience because the difference between an ignorant person and a wise person, the ignorant person thinks they know. Wise person knows there's so much more than I know. So that's an open question. That's that, what is this? And without ever having the answer. Any sort of sport or any sort of practice, whether it's learning the piano or, as you're first learning, you're just learning the basic sort of feeling for it. But as time goes on, it's like, oh my gosh, music, it's endless in terms of where you can go with understanding what it is. And it's like that with everything. So you don't try to be an expert, pretend that you know. You come here to get some security, and then you find out there's no security. And you find out, wait a minute, there is no knowing. Oh, wait a minute. Not only that, there's no I that is knowing. So these steps of awakening, but there is something, a great treasure. And I can't tell you what it is. Yeah. Uh, Sorry if that was kind of a roundabout, but yeah. Yeah. So it's moment to moment. I struggle all the time. I fall all the time. I get angry. I do stupid things. But I'm kind to myself about it and to others as much as I can be. Sometimes it's hard. Yeah. I have a great deal of respect for being, for true modesty. for people who don't come across as knowing. No. All right, guys. Appreciate you very much. Thank you for coming.